They say that in 1609, Captain Henry Hudson discovered all this land around the Cape. Well, it's true somewhat, because me and me men were out here burying some loot when we saw him sail by. Well, the Dutch West Indies in 1621 sent a Captain Cornelius May here, and he discovered the land. And they changed the name and called it after him, and now it's called Cape May. And it's right around the horn here, right over there.
Cape May holds the distinction of being America's oldest seashore resort. Today, Cape May celebrates its heritage each spring with the Tulip Festival. Everywhere the eye falls, flowers are in bloom as visitors from all over come to welcome spring. There is a host of activities during the celebration to guarantee a smile on the face of visitors of all ages. There's the crowning of the Tulip Festival King and Queen. Houses are opened for inspection. Mid-Atlantic Center for the Arts offers tours of the historic district, and there are seminars on Victorian restoration techniques. The area's original inhabitants were a branch of the Lenni-Lenape tribe, the Ketchamichi. They would visit in the summer months to feast on the abundant seafood and enjoy the cool ocean breezes. As early as 1640, whalers from New England set up camp on the shores of the Delaware Bay. Portsmouth, on the site of present-day Town Bank, was the first permanent European settlement on the Jersey Cape. Cape May began entertaining tourists in the late 1700s, and by the end of the War of 1812, the tourist industry was flourishing.
In 1823, bricks were brought in from Philadelphia to help build the lighthouse here at Cape May Point, as well as the Cold Spring Presbyterian Church in Cold Spring, just up the rail line. The church still stands, but this is our third lighthouse. The other two lighthouses eroded into the sea.
Steamboat travel connected Cape May with other ports on the Delaware River, and by the mid-1800s, trains rolled into town. A number of hotels were built on the island to accommodate as many as 3,000 visitors a day. One of the most famous was the Mount Vernon.
Yeah, I remember the Mount Vernon Hotel. It stood right here on the south end of town. It had 482 rooms, each with its own private bath. The dining room could seat 3,000. But then on September 5th, 1856, at 11 p.m., the hotel was destroyed by fire. And it was the biggest in the world at the time. The owner, his wife, and 3 children, and well, the housekeeper, my grandmother, they all died in that fire. There were 3 other citywide fires here in Cape May, 1857, 69, and 78. And gratefully, no one else died in those fires.
The worst fire Cape May experienced happened in November of 1878, when a wind-blown inferno roared through 35 acres in the center of town. Many of the fine Victorian structures in Cape May today were built to replace the hotels and cottages lost in that fire. A stroll through this area today will reveal a wide variety of architectural styles. A large number of the cottages have been converted to bed and breakfast inns and guest houses, although they originally served as summer homes to wealthy visitors from Philadelphia, New York, Baltimore, and Washington. These inns are furnished with antiques from the late 1800s and look today as they must have when they were brand new. At various times of the year, innkeepers open their homes to visitors for tours. And many of our visitors come to Cape May for a romantic weekend away from the hectic pace of the city. Many of these inns are recognized throughout the world for the quality of their restorations and attention to detail. The pink house, shown here, was even featured on the cover of the New Jersey phone book. Many famed architects came to Cape May to work their magic, as is evident in the Stephen Decatur button design, located on Jackson Street near the beach.
Cape May beaches are very popular today, but in my day, men and women were not allowed to bathe in the ocean at the same time. Flags denoted whose turn it was. When the white flag was up, it was time for the women to come onto the beach. They usually took their time in case of any malingerers. When the red flag went up, it was amazing how fast the men arrived in hopes of catching a wringing wet departure from the sea.
Today, thousands of visitors still come to Cape May to enjoy what are considered by many as the finest beaches in the world. Here on the oceanfront, you can find luxurious accommodations in mansions from a bygone era, beautifully restored and very cozy. Some feature musical recitals by world-class musicians in the comfort of your home at the shore. This hotel is the largest frame structure east of the Mississippi River and has been freshly remodeled by its new owners. There is an elegant ballroom for weddings and conventions, and guests can enjoy the salty breezes from the ocean just across the street. Those that enjoy the convenience of a modern hotel will find what they're looking for here on the beachfront at the Atlas Motor Inn. There's a large pool featuring live entertainment and a poolside cocktail lounge. On Sunday, enjoy the fabulous champagne brunch served in the Atlas Crystal Room. There's also live entertainment nightly in the Crystal Room at the Atlas Motor Inn on Beach Drive. It's been called one of the top 10 bed and breakfast inns in America. It's also been called the most recognized Victorian structure in the world. It's the Angel of the Sea on Trenton Avenue just off the beachfront. Restoration took 57,000 man-hours and cost over $3 million. The Angel of the Sea claimed the Restoration of the Year award from the National Trust for Historic Preservation and has been featured on numerous television programs. Next door is another of Cape May's most famous landmarks, the Peter Shields Inn. The dining room serves brunch and dinner daily. A varied menu is offered to take advantage of each season's offerings. The inn also offers a uniquely beautiful setting for weddings, receptions, and parties. The Peter Shields Inn is a charming, romantic restaurant with a lovely view of the ocean just across the street. Along the beachfront and throughout Cape May, you'll find an amazing number of restaurants for an island of its size, with a wide range of flavors and themes, sure to please every palate. In June, Cape May celebrates the coming of the summer with the Sea and Sky Festival, featuring a wide selection of activities throughout the weekend, like stunt kite demonstrations on the beaches between Congress Street to Jackson Street. In the yard of Congress Hall, area restaurants celebrate the harvest of the sea at the food court. There's a chowder competition, antique boat show, live music, and much, much more. Nearby is Cape May's own kite shop, the Great Atlantic Kite Company. They'll be able to set you up with everything you'll need to really enjoy the Sea and Sky Festival. They also rent and sell ocean kayaks. Stop by and they will take you on an educational sightseeing excursion of Cape May Harbor and wetlands. Cape May is home to the United States Coast Guard Training Center. All Coast Guard recruits take their basic training here. The public is invited to attend the regular Friday graduation ceremonies, summer retreat parades, and their exciting air-sea rescue demonstrations. Cape May is unique in the fact that you can watch the sun rise over the Atlantic, and in the evening, watch it set over the Delaware Bay. In its heyday, Cape May played host to many illustrious visitors, including Abraham Lincoln and his wife, Congressman Henry Clay, actress Lily Langtry, industrialist Henry Ford, showman P.T. Barnum, and founder of the Red Cross, Clara Barton. In August of 1882, John Philip Sousa and the Marine Band came to town. Each evening, they would begin their performance with a new composition named for the place of their concert, Congress Hall. Congress Hall is a city block of oceanfront hotel waiting to be restored to its original grandeur. It currently houses a fine collection of shops and is home to an occasional concert or show. This is the third Congress Hall. The original was built by Thomas Hughes in 1816, but was destroyed by fire in 1818. The second was burnt to the ground in the fire of 1878. This building was the summer White House of President Benjamin Harrison.
There were two gambling parlors that were established here on Cape Island, both of them quite notorious. One was called the Jackson Clubhouse, which could be found at the rear of the Stockton Hotel, but I've heard they've given up their unscrupulous practices and have become quite a nice little inn. The other was the Blue Pig, which could be found here, the northeast corner of the front lawn of Congress Hall. Established by that famous gambler Henry Cleveland, the Blue Pig was the place to be. There were women dancing, gambling, singing. I could be found there almost every night. That is until the Blue Pig moved to where it now stands, at the corner of North and Windsor Street, which is too close to home. From her own living room, my wife can look out the window and see everybody going in and out of that fine old gambling parlor. So I no longer go to the Blue Pig. That is, unless my wife goes out and visits family all the way out in Irma.
Today, the Jackson Clubhouse is the mainstay inn on Columbia Avenue. It was Cape May's first bed and breakfast inn and was selected as one of the top 5 inns for quality and value by the Zagat Survey. A walk down Columbia Avenue will amaze you with block after block of beautifully restored inns and homes. At the Columbia House, guests enjoy spacious suites, tastefully furnished with 19th century antiques. For over 110 years, the Victorian Rose has welcomed visitors to Cape May. Built just after the Civil War by famed architect Stephen Decatur Button, the Victorian Rose served as a tea room where gentlemen and ladies gathered for their afternoon repast. Today, as a bed and breakfast inn, the Victorian Rose offers the gracious hospitality of years gone by. The Summer Cottage Inn is a charming 1867 Victorian cottage in the heart of the historic district. Here, guests enjoy a warm, friendly atmosphere and a full buffet breakfast and afternoon tea and treats. Just 1 block to the beach. Next door, Farrow's Guest House, also built in 1867, offers Victorian charm and informal comfort. Guest rooms are large and air-conditioned. The Henry Sawyer Inn was built in 1877 by Eldridge Johnson, treasurer of Cape May at the time. He bought the land for his home from Civil War hero Henry Sawyer, who also built the Chalfont Hotel. Across the street is the Dormer House International, one of the great summer houses of the 1890s. Today, the Dormer House International offers the essence of gracious seashore living in modern comfort. The innkeepers invite you to come and feel the warmth and hospitality of the Linda Lee. They serve a full country breakfast, afternoon tea, and all the rooms in the inn offer a private bath and air conditioning. On nearby Stockton Avenue is the Victorian Lace Inn. Built as a summer retreat more than 100 years ago in the colonial revival style of architecture, the house features large suites, beautifully restored wood floors, and floor-to-ceiling windows draped in lace. A half a block away is the Sea Holly Inn, an elegant 3-story Gothic cottage with Italianate detailing. The rooms are furnished in Renaissance revival with East Lake antique furnishing. The Stetson Inn offers an ocean view rocking chair sun deck in the summer and a cozy sitting room with a fireplace in the winter. A delicious home-cooked breakfast is served in the sunny dining room, and all rooms have private baths and air conditioning. The Frog Hollow Inn is a lovely colonial revival-style inn located at the corner of Kearny and Franklin, just a short walk to the beach and to the Washington Street Mall. Built in 1912, the Mission Inn with its sweeping verandas is just one block to the ocean. Inspired by Nelson Graves' journey to the Pacific coast at the turn of the century. The Mission Inn is a perfect example of California mission-style architecture. The Mission Inn offers the grandeur of the Gatsby era and for many years has hosted Hollywood film stars and Broadway show people.
This was originally called the Sawyer House, named after my husband, Colonel Henry Sawyer. He was reputed to be a Civil War hero. However, all he managed to do in the war was to be captured by the enemy and then exchanged for Rooney Lee, General Lee's son. The person who facilitated that exchange was the real war hero, and that was none other than his wife, Harriet Eldridge Sawyer.
After the Civil War, Cape May's popularity began to wane. Visitors from the South didn't return, and a series of fires destroyed downtown and the hotel district. A state law banning gambling and a local law prohibiting the sale of liquor signaled the end of the party for Cape May. But it was from disaster that the rebirth of Cape May came about. A nor'easter in March of 1962 sent 20-foot waves through the streets and caused millions of dollars in damage. After much discussion about whether to tear everything down and start over or to preserve the hundreds of Victorian homes and cottages in town, Cape May decided its future was in its past. The rebuilding was so successful that in October of 1977, Cape May was named the first National Historic Landmark City in the United States and has more restored Victorian structures than any place on Earth. Awe-inspiring with its 60-foot tower, the Abbey was home to Pennsylvania coal baron John McCreary. This exceptional building is Cape May's finest example of Gothic Revival-style architecture and is open to the public for tea and tour on Monday, Wednesday, and on Fridays at 4. Nearby, the Brass Bed is a lovingly restored inn, furnished throughout with period antiques. In each guest room is an antique brass bed, and guests can enjoy the cozy glass-enclosed veranda. Alexander's Inn on Washington Street is also home to one of New Jersey's most elegant restaurants. Each morning at Alexander's, breakfast is delivered to your room. Captain May's Inn was built in 1890 by Cape May native Dr. Walter Phillips. This wonderfully restored inn has been seen on the cover of many national magazines and has been spotlighted on many television programs. The Windward House is an Edwardian seaside inn located on historic Jackson Street. The Windward House is conveniently situated 1/2 block from the beach and 1/2 block from the Washington Street Mall. The John Wesley Inn is one of the 8 Stockton Row cottages. The cottages are on Gurney Street, but so named for their close proximity to the original Stockton Hotel. The cottages are of the same design, with only slight changes in their trim. Directly next door is another Stockton Row cottage, the Gingerbread House. Built in 1869, the cottages were a woodworker's masterpiece. Guests will enjoy the many original Cape May watercolors inside this meticulously restored inn. King's Cottage is just steps from the beach on Perry Street. Many of the rooms offer a view of the ocean, and each room is designed and decorated with its own unique motif. The restoration renaissance continues, as is demonstrated here by the recent refurbishing of the magnificent George Allen House on Washington Street. With centuries of rich history, Cape May is an antique seeker's dream come true. Over the many years, wealthy families from all over have come here to vacation and reside, bringing with them a treasure trove of furnishings, curios, and bric-a-brac. Bogwater Gym in West Cape May, for example, features antiques with a maritime emphasis. The pond boats and sailboats are old and beautifully restored. In this shop, the furniture, prints, paintings, and decorative accessories range from funky to formal and are always unusual. Cape May has always enjoyed an intimate relationship with the sea. Today, Cape May is the leading seafood processing port on the East Coast. Be sure to include a stroll around one of the area's many marinas in your plans. Boats from all over come to our excellent harbor to fish the waters of the Delaware Bay and the Atlantic Ocean. Cape May is home to the largest marlin tournament in the world, the Mid-Atlantic 500,000. Each year, fishermen vie for part of the over $1 million in prize money. If you're interested in fishing during your visit to Cape May, call the South Jersey Fishing Center hotline at 609-884-2400. Whales have played a large part in the development of the Jersey Cape, and today thousands of people each year climb aboard the Cape May Whale Watcher for their dolphin and whale watches 3 times daily. The Cape May Whale Watcher also takes an architectural tour around Cape May twice a week, in association with the Mid-Atlantic Center for the Arts. Those with a boat in Cape May will find a wide variety of things to do and see. There's many waterfront restaurants with free dockage for patrons, like the Lobster House at Fisherman's Wharf. There you'll find a beautifully restored Grand Bank schooner, built in 1921. This magnificent sailing ship worked for many years and is now the perfect place to enjoy a cocktail on a warm, sunny day. At the other end of the harbor, up the Intracoastal Waterway near Wildwood Crest, is the 2 Mile Inn and Crab House. There's several large air-conditioned dining rooms and a large outdoor deck for enjoying hot and spicy Maryland-style crabs. At the 2 Mile Landing, you'll also be able to try parasailing, and nearby you can rent wave runners and jet skis. If you continue north on Ocean Drive, you'll find a day of family fun on the Wildwood Boardwalk. It is said that the Wildwood Boardwalk has more attractions and amusements than Disney World. And a short drive up the Garden State Parkway, you can try your luck at Atlantic City's casinos. Our summer visitors enjoy some of the world's finest beaches here in Cape May. The surrounding waters keep temperatures mild well into the fall. Our beaches have played host to the Hobie Cap National Championships, bringing skilled sailors to our area from all over the world. And each year, Cape May hosts the United States Life-Saving Association's Superathlon, and in previous years has hosted the Mid-Atlantic and National Championship events.
Stop right there. You have to kiss the gate guard on the way in. It's a local rule.
Oktoberfest is celebrated in early October, as once again Jackson Street is open to pedestrian traffic from the ocean to the Washington Street Mall. German bands perform and area restaurants offer authentic German fare. Early October also brings the Lima Bean Festival to West Cape May, the lima bean capital of the world.
Cape May also has a long, rich theatrical heritage. In the 1890s, vaudeville and legitimate stage productions were presented at the Seabreeze Excursion House down by the old railroad station, and on the Iron Pier, which went all the way out over the ocean. Then in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, the Cape Playhouse was in full bloom with Broadway productions. In the 1960s, this lovely old church building was bought by the city and used as a community center for community theater. Now it houses the Professional Equity Theater in South Jersey, Cape May Stage. Cape May has a long, rich theatrical heritage. We're proud of it.
Many of our visitors come here and fall in love with the town. Others fall in love and decide to return to get married here. On a visit, you're likely to see a line of beautifully decorated carriages outside a church waiting for the wedding party. But you needn't get married to enjoy a carriage ride through town or to your favorite restaurant. Cape May has many excellent restaurants that receive rave reviews and top awards. Peaches at Sunset is one of those restaurants that continue to receive accolades for their creative menus and comfortable atmosphere. A few miles north of town is historic Cold Spring Village. The village features 20 historic buildings and recreates the atmosphere of an early 1800s farm community. Many craftspeople are on hand and dressed in appropriate wear. Just north of Cape May Courthouse is the Cape May County Park and Zoo. The zoo is home to a surprising number of birds, reptiles, and animals, displayed in large and open areas and savannas, amid many lovely gardens. Those who enjoy good food and good comedy will enjoy Elaine's Dinner Theater on Lafayette Street. This top-notch troupe performs many original shows each week, and the restaurant offers a surprisingly extensive menu. Elaine's cast also enjoys performing at other venues, like the Atlantic City casinos, and in the winter, they take to the seas on the Big Red Boat. In October, the biggest festival of all comes to Cape May. For 2 consecutive weekends and the week between, Cape May celebrates Victorian Week. Many events and tours are sponsored by the Mid-Atlantic Center for the Arts. Visit the fabulous Washington Inn for Victorians and their wine. Cellar masters David and Michael Craig will lead you through the world of Victorian wines. There's the Fisherman's Wharf Tour. This is a guided tour of the Lobster House Dock and Seafood Packing Plant. On this excursion, you'll find out how seafood gets from the sea to your table. Then see Cape May's Victorian architecture from a new perspective, from the ocean. On the Around Cape Island tour aboard the Cape May Whale Watcher, you'll enjoy tales of local heroes, legends, and history. And you might even see dolphins or whales. On the Cape May Sampler Tour, you'll see at least 10 Victorian houses, including some private homes and cottages not normally open to the public. Come see the time-honored art of glassblowing when the Whedon Village glassblowers set up their kilns on the lawn of the Physic Estate. They'll demonstrate century-old traditions as they produce a variety of glass items for display and sale. Let your voice be heard at Victorian's Fling, an old-fashioned sing-along at the Chalfont Hotel. There will also be scores of tours of the historic district of Cape May. There's a home and garden tour, where you'll get to view some of our most beautiful homes and their courtyards. On the What's Cooking Victoria tour, you'll step into some of the kitchens of these fine bed and breakfast inns for a behind-the-scenes look. And on the Mansions by Gaslight tour, you'll see some of the town's lovely mansions at twilight. The Cape May Interiors tour takes you inside some of the finer inns and guest houses in town. The Historic House tour is a self-guided tour of 10 houses that allows you to go through them at your leisure. A trolley will run a continuous loop of the area for your convenience. There's a lot to do in Cape May during Victorian Week, and to get a full listing complete with dates and times of these special events, pick up a copy of This Week in Cape May at the Washington Street Information Booth. Or call the Mid-Atlantic Center for the Arts at 884-5404. While you are in the mood for all things Victorian, you might enjoy having your picture taken in authentic Victorian costumes. It's something else fun to do with a group, and children love it. Your pictures develop while you browse through the Victorian gifts, or you can return for them later. It's so nice they do it twice. It's the Cape May Jazz Festival, rapidly becoming one of our great events. Each spring and fall, friends of Cape May Jazz bring to several venues in town great names from the world of jazz. A weekend pass is available for all shows, or you can purchase tickets for just the events you must see. A trolley shuttles jazz lovers from concert to concert. For information about the next festival, call 884-7277. The Philadelphia Inquirer said, over the years, few restaurants have been as deserving of praise as Water's Edge, the quietly elegant haven for fine dining, one of the shore's finest restaurants. Other reviews read, only the pounding surf reminds you that you're not in an urban bistro. Why do restaurant reviewers love Water's Edge? Perhaps after a visit to their elegant dining room or the oceanfront patio for an unforgettable dining experience, you'll be writing your own rave reviews. Visitors to the White Dove Cottage are greeted by the sounds of a player piano playing turn-of-the-century favorites in a comfortable Victorian setting, located on one of Cape May's loveliest streets. If you enter Cape May on Lafayette Street, you'll pass the Primrose, a dollhouse that's all grown up. Recently refurbished and refurnished, the Primrose is just half a block to the Physic Estate and an easy walk to the Marina District. At the Bernard Good House, so many guests have asked the owner for recipes that she decided to write a cookbook. It's called Why Not for Breakfast and is available through area booksellers. Enjoy a holiday free of stress and commotion at the Albert Stevens Inn. Morning brings a hearty 3-course Norwegian-style breakfast, and feline lovers will enjoy the Cat's Garden tea. Next door, the magnificent Wilbraham Mansion retains the ambiance and tradition of grandeur, combining elegance and comfort in a relaxed atmosphere. And it's the only inn in town with a heated indoor pool. The Annabelle Lee on Broadway is a Gothic Victorian built in 1858. The inn offers a casual environment and welcomes families with children. At the Annabelle Lee, there's always some sort of special entertainment planned for their guests. Those planning a large party or family reunion will enjoy the convenience of all staying at the same location. Antoinette's can accommodate families of up to 25 people. Additionally, the innkeeper teaches the art of restoring Victorian lampshades. The restoration of Victorian inns is not restricted to just Cape May. The Doctor's Inn at King's Grant in Cape May Courthouse is an elegant retreat and is also home to Bradbury's fine dining. Each room at the Doctor's Inn is comfortably appointed, and each offers a fireplace, television, and VCR. Many feature whirlpool baths. Beautiful guest rooms, 3 dining rooms, and the spacious manicured gardens make the Doctor's Inn the perfect place for weddings. In nearby Wildwood, known for its 50s Art Deco architecture, you'll find the lovely Candlelight Inn, located on Central Avenue. And for those seeking a suite in Cape May, with a magnificent view of the ocean and the convenience of a private pool, you'll love the Periwinkle Inn on Beach Drive.
This is Washington Street Mall, the center of the shopping district here in Cape May, very popular. It was dedicated in 1971 when the street was blocked off and opened only to pedestrian traffic. But I remember when it was just a dirt road with wooden sidewalks, huge hotels, whaling ship captains, and beautiful Victorian ladies. Those were the days.
Today, the Washington Street Mall plays home to many special events throughout the year. The mall has a variety of fine shops and restaurants. On a sunny afternoon, enjoy a scrumptious meal at one of the relaxing sidewalk cafes, then browse through the many unique shops here. Over the years, many people have come to discover the beauty of Cape May during the Christmas season. The over 600 restored Victorian homes, inns, and cottages are decked out in holiday finery. Many of the inns and cottages are open to the public for tours and offer visitors a glimpse of Christmas past. Information about these tours is available at the Visitor Center on Lafayette Street or at the information booth on the Washington Street Mall or at the participating inns. Some of the participating inns invite guests to enjoy refreshments while learning how Christmas was celebrated over 100 years ago. Authentically costumed, in-character hosts offer theme presentations at many of the inns. On some of the tours, you are invited to make a selection of the inns you'd like to inspect, and are then free to visit at your leisure and pace. You'll enjoy a musical sampling of seasonal selections, and some tours even offer a formal tea. Christmas time is lovely in Cape May. The sights and sounds of the season greet visitors with a warm, hearty welcome. Many come to visit the quaint shops of the Washington Street Mall and surrounding vicinity. The best time for a visit is during hospitality night in early December. Shopkeepers open their shops and hearts to all. Complimentary refreshments are offered to warm guests and add to the festive atmosphere. You'll want to bring your shopping list with you, or in the many shops in town, you'll find the perfect gift for everyone on your list. On hospitality night, merchants place a candle outside to invite guests in for a warm beverage and a friendly holiday greeting. You'll be impressed by the wide variety of high-quality merchandise available in the stores here, all within easy walking distance of each other. You will enjoy the refreshing friendliness of shoppers and shopkeepers throughout town and wonder why you ever put up with the hassle of big city malls and downtowns at Christmas. This Christmas, come to Cape May to join us for the holidays, and you'll see why so many friends are making the Christmas and New Year season one of the best times to visit this lovely Victorian resort. Year's End, Cape May hosts many New Year's celebrations. Large hotels along the shoreline offer splendid ocean views, fabulous accommodations, and gala New Year's celebrations in their grand ballrooms, conveniently located just steps from your room. Some, like the Grand Hotel, offer holiday packages for romantic getaway weekends, and gift certificates make the perfect present. If you'd like to stay off the highway this New Year's and enjoy the great food, fun, and accommodations, do it here in grand style. The more things change, the more they stay the same. The things that drew the original inhabitants continue to draw visitors today. The freshness of the ocean air and waters, the beauty of the land, the relaxing feeling of being miles from the pressures of the city. That's what Cape May has offered visitors for hundreds of years and continues to offer today.
So, come on down to the Jersey Shore and discover the treasure known as Cape May.
If you're planning a visit, call the Greater Cape May Chamber of Commerce for this free packet of information. Then, call Cape May Visitor Center with any specific questions you might have. For an up-to-the-minute schedule of events, call the Mid-Atlantic Center for the Arts. And during your visit to Cape May, join the Greater Cape May Historical Society. We hope you've enjoyed this visit to America's oldest seashore resort and hope to see you soon.